Hey guys, it's Nick, and thanks for tuning in to Long Island Wargaming. And this is the game 1 of 6 games that I will be sharing with you from CrossRoads GT Spring 2014. The first game will be a practice game, and if you have not watched thus far any of my videos, which I doubt, but if you're a newcomer, I'm bringing the Leadbelcher army, which is a interesting list with an interesting composition, and it consists mostly of Leadbelchers. So this practice game is going to be with Casual from nerdhammer.net. Supposedly him and his friends are just a bunch of losers playing with dolls, but we'll see what happens. They might walk away with some wins here, maybe not. If you recall from last Crossroads, I brought my Skaven, and you're going to see this list, a variation of the list that we're playing against. It's going to be demons, and I beat down Casual pretty bad, but Skaven's tough, so we'll see how the Leadbelchers hold up in this Ogres versus Demons game. And before we get into it, we'll do a quick 30-second showcase of some of Casual's models. We got the Screamers, nice blend with those blues. Got some Furies, some Tyranid bits. The dogs, the Fleshhounds. These guys were a pain in the butt during the game, and you'll see. These guys look awesome. I love them. Nurgle's the shit. And this thing just looks awesome. Enough said. It's just awesome. Alright, so for magic, I got pretty much the spells I need with this list, which is what I'm hoping for the entire tournament. And I'll just go over it once during the other 5 games. I won't really go over it, but Comet's going to be great. It's going to be for a good buffer that I can put down, make people either back up or no longer come near me. Thunderbolt's great. It could take down some high toughness stuff. Ice Shard Blizzard. I could definitely go with this, or more desirable would be Wind Blast. I could push people back, and if there's gyrocopters or anything, I could deal with the lore attribute. And Harmonic Convergence is the key with this list, is getting those rerolls, ones to hit and to wound with the Leadbelchers. Spy Marrow, whatever. I'll take whatever I get with the Butcher. It's really not a big deal. So we'll go into deployment here. From right to left on the demon side, we have the Furies, we've got the Soul Grinder behind that, the cannon is hiding. We've got some flying guys, we've got the drones behind the Screamers, 2 units of pink horrors, which are just housing the BSB and the General. The Plague Bearers are chilling next to the building there. There's some beasts back there. There's another single beast behind that hill, and the little guys in the middle of the field, and the dogs are not yet deployed because the Nurglings are going to be scouting, which I didn't realize, and the dogs are going to be ambushing, which I didn't realize either. So those are 2 things that I'm not really looking forward to. And here it is, boys and girls, the painted up Leadbelcher army ready to rock and roll. So you've seen it enough times. I'm not going to go through it, but trappers all over the place for chaff, and the Leadbelcher units. And then something really worth noting is the way that Casual goes ahead and uses the building in the forest to really create a nice little buffer between him and the shooting, which is just smart. So he goes ahead and deploys on all of this side of the battlefield. So the scouts are down there, far left, near all the beer bottles, and closer look right here, you can see they're going to be dealing with this Noblar unit. So demons go ahead and get turn 1. This is a pretty interesting shot just based on the fact that there's some dice in motion here. I got 2 dice getting rolled, which is pretty cool. But anyway, the Beast of Nurgle goes ahead and moves up. And here is the remaining moves for Casual. The Soul Grinder is going up full. The rest of the stuff just is kind of chilling in the back because he doesn't really want to quite deal with all of the shooting first. So he'll see what he could do with some magic. He'll see what the cannons can do, the Skull Cannon, and he's going to take it from there. We go ahead and cast a Blue Fire of Tzeentch onto the Iron Blaster. It's a gamble spell, so I went ahead and let it through because you know what, he could roll shit. He ends up getting a few hits at like strength. No, he gets 1 hit at strength 6, which is, you know what, whatever. I'll take it. It's better than a whole bunch of hits at strength 6 or 4 or 5 for that matter. But I end up taking a wound here and I end up getting regen, which is nice. I get a 6-up regen, but odds are it's going to be a target for the fire cannon, which, you know, negates the regen anyway. But Casual ends up targeting this Iron Blaster instead because it's set up that he's got the best chances of hitting it, so he goes ahead and does that one and kills it early game, so I'm down a cannon. So, Ogre turn 1, I go ahead and just reform, get ready to volley fire into that Soul Grinder, which is like toughness 6 or toughness 7. The thing's not fun, but you know what, I'm going to have to take it down, and there's so many flying targets on the battlefield too, which I want to take advantage of the lore attribute with Heavens, but I'm going to have to go ahead and focus down my magic on the Soul Grinder too, because that's the only thing that's going to be getting to me quickly that I need to be worried about. So just to take any precaution that I can, I do go ahead and put the Saber Tusk up here this way. A charge will either cause him to, kill the Saber Tusk and stay there if he fails his, well, Saber Tusk actually causes fear himself, so he wouldn't need to take a terror test. But if he goes ahead and flees and overruns, then I can either get a flank charge with the bulls or just have him prime real estate for a Leadbelcher volley. So here's the first mistake of the game. Well, honestly, if you watch my channel, you know I really don't play demons ever, except the last time I played demons was against casual like 6 months ago. But the Saber Tusk I go ahead and put over here outside of the scrimmaging unit line of sight, but getting ready to deal with the Beast of Nurgle, which honestly I don't think the Saber Tusk could take care of him now looking at it in hindsight, but I didn't know what I was dealing with. The Saber Tusk should have been helping out these Gnawbars and dealing with the Nurglings. A couple attacks at strength, weapon skill 4, strength 4 would have been decent, but I'm going to be sending these Gnawbars up against them solo. And here's just another angle of the battlefield. You can see I'm repositioning again to take as many shots at the flying stuff and the Soul Grinder. So I go ahead and Thunderbolt the Soul Grinder. Honestly, if I had gotten Chain Lightning, that would have been so much better, because then I could have went ahead and not only did some damage to the Soul Grinder, but I could have hit both of those flying units and went ahead and did not only D6 Strength 6 hits, D6 Strength 4 hits. But you know what? I had to deal with what I got. So I go ahead and do, I believe, a wound onto the Soul Grinder with Thunderbolt, which is fine because it's still odds stacked against me with Strength 6, Toughness 7. So I'll take it. And here's when things get a little hazy. I got the Harmonic Convergence card down. I know I cast it. I'm not sure if I Death Spells it or not, but either way, the result is the same, and it's the result that I wanted. And I go ahead and actually finish off the Soul Grinder with the Leadbelcher units and the Iron Blaster. It's great having Iron Blasters in Harmonic Convergence area of effect. This way, if I do roll a 1 with the to wound, I still can re-roll it and kill things that need to be killed. So in Demon's turn 2, we end up getting this charge. A wound or 2 is dealt out by the difficult terrain tests and the shooting combined. This is where I start to feel a little queasy, because I've got these dogs that decide to show up from behind. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with them. In Winds of Magic, something crazy happens. I don't know what happens, but something crazy happens. I don't get demons, I really don't. These two units roll a 6, because I need to roll a d6 for all my units, and they end up suffering some hits and wounds or whatever. But they're Gnawbars, so who cares? So we get Final Transmutation off. I'm not even quite sure I remember what happens with the spell. All I remember is that a bunch of my stuff is stupid now, which is frustrating as hell because I've got Leadership 8 and no BSB because that's how I roll with this list. So that's going to be an issue next turn. This combat ends up being a push. I have a rank and a banner. He has a charge. I think I end up winning, but he ends up being able to reform anyway. Alright, so for Ogre's turn 2, this hurts. This just does. It just does. Everything passes its leadership test due to the stupidity from Final Transmutation, except the Iron Blaster, which at this point is the only thing that really has a purpose in shooting, because just about everything else is out of range for the Leadbelchers. I mean, I do have these Flesh Hounds to turn around and deal with, but ouch, like this sucks. I was going to go ahead and just use this guy to turn around and do a flank shot down the Flesh Hounds, or Grape Shot. Odds are I was just going to go ahead and do the flank shot, but that sucks. That really sucks. I sent another Gnawbar unit in. Hopefully that could help me out, give me some combat res. The Saber Tusk that was chaffing up the Soul Grinder, which is dead now. goes ahead and flank charges the pterodactyls, the Furies. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with the Saber Tusk. I'm really not being very efficient with him. I use the Noblars to chaff up the beast. This way, if he does go ahead and move into me, but the way he wheels to me, he will not be lined up to overrun and hit the Leadbelchers, which at this point have swift reform to turn around and blast the dogs. You can see that my troops are a little bit more spread out. The bulls are facing the screamers that are now chilling by the quicksand. I get irresistible force off on Thunderbolt onto the plague drones. Unfortunately, with the D6 strength 6 and the D6 strength 4, I'm unable to get any wounds through. He regens them, I believe, and I'm not quite sure what happens with miscast. All I know is my wizard is still alive. Oh, this picture helps. The unit takes 2 wounds. I guess everyone base contact, and I probably didn't wound one of the 2 guys, so not bad. And this is a huge ouch. 7d6 shots. I rolled up a nice decent number from what I remember, but when it came time to wound, I couldn't. I just couldn't. It's just bad. I might have been better off getting the caster out of the unit and trying to thunderbolt these guys or something, but that's not looking good. I really needed to hurt these guys this way when they charged me I could deal with them, but so despite the 2 units of Noblars going in on the Nurglings, I somehow lose 6 on this unit, and the other unit just gets wiped off the battlefield, probably from an overrun. But it's crazy how the Noblars did really good the first time around, and then the second time around, when their numbers doubled, they went ahead and did worse. So they're over here. The Nurglings just missed the Leadbelchers, which is nice, and now he's in this awkward position where he can't charge either, I guess, because he can't move without touching the other one. I don't know. It's funky for a turn or two, but eventually he gets what he needs with charging them somewhere. And the Saber Tusk kills the Fury Dactyls. Demon turn 3. This beast goes ahead and charges into the Noblars. It's a cool model. Pretty sure that's like the old Chaos Spawn model, so he's done up all nice and nurgly. And now that Casual sees that all my shit's all over the place, it's time to start marching forward. And it looks like this game was brought to you by Blue Point Brewing Company, our local Long Island brewing company. And this is the Toasted Lager. So look at my stuff. It's a mess right now. I got the bulls chilling out on the side. You can see that he's starting to close in now. So I can still do a lot of damage with a volley or 2 from the Leadbelchers, but having an entire Leadbelcher unit facing backwards, getting charged by corn dogs, is just not good. And for your viewing pleasure, another view of the Legions of Chaos closing in on me. Treason of Zinch just casted on the Iron Blaster. This way he can try to leadership bomb me. Flickering Fire is casted onto the Leadbelchers, and I let it through because I really need to avoid transmutation getting off. Noblars go ahead and roll Leadership 5, Steadfast, which is pretty decent. So, Ogre's turn 3. I make a pretty stellar charge onto these Screamers. I roll up a 12, which is an Ogre charge, so I've got 3d3 strength, 6 hits for impact hits, and I'm pretty sure I just erase half of the unit alone on impact hits, so this isn't going to be an issue. This is overdue, but the Saber Tusk finally does something and goes ahead and issues a charge. But besides that, here's the rest of my movement. I have this one Saber Tusk that's near the Plague Drones. I'm not quite sure what I was going to do with him. The Bloodletter Cannon, the Flaming Cannon, would have gone ahead and ate him if I charged. So I have him turning around outside of the line of sight of the Plague Drones. This way maybe he could do some redirecting or additional chaffing in a later turn. So the Noblars go ahead and chaff up the Nurgle units, which is good because it creates some hesitation, especially with the difficult terrain tests on the bigger unit of infantry, but at least it gives me some turns to deal with some more shooting. And I'm still dealing with these freaking dogs in the back. Corn dogs, man. So I go ahead and actually cast a comet successfully, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in here as a buffer in between me and my opponent. I don't care if the Nobbler's get hit, but at least if he proceeds to move forward, he will suffer some wounds from it. So I get a successful Thunderbolt off again onto these guys, and I actually do some damage this time between the Strength 6 and the Strength 4 hits. I do knock off a Plague Drone. So I think I might have maybe suffered a wound here, otherwise I'd go ahead and kill these guys and do a quick combat reform to face back to the battlefield. Starting to run low on trappers here, I end up breaking here, and uh, the Saber Tusk and the Noblars scatter. The Leadbelchers are doing pretty bad here in this combat. I'm down 3 guys already. I'm really failing to do a good job of killing them off. However, I do roll up a leadership 7, and since I'm steadfast, I go ahead and hold. And at a neighboring table, Chris's Savage Orcs somehow end up like this, getting flank charged by slaves. What a mess. Long Island War Games getting a run for their money here against nerdhammer.net. So John is playing Ogres also. In Demon's turn 4, the Nurglings go ahead and reform to face the Leadbelchers, or it looks like they maybe make a charge actually. The Beast also will do a charge from behind, so these Leadbelchers, which had a fair amount of time to take care of these corn dogs, just are not pulling through for me here, so they're going to get crushed by all this Nurgle shit. The Plague Drones go ahead and charge the flank of the Noblars, which is unexpected for me. I was more hoping that the Nurgle Plague Bearers were going to make a charge, but, you know, that's fine. It gets more stuff closer to Comet, so I'll be happy with that. But there's nothing to be happy about, because it still doesn't land. So you could see this is the remaining moves for the demons. The pink horrors are just kind of stretching out a little bit, this way they can use the building for cover, and the Lord caster can still have some targets. Plague Drones do easy work to the Noblars, as do the Beasts, and they go ahead and reform to face some other shit. The Skull Cannon has been failing to wound the Iron Blaster for several turns now. I think he rolled 3 ones consecutively for 3 turns worth of trying to kill the Iron Blaster, so that's why I haven't really mentioned it. Over here, again, another 7. These guys are awesome. The scrimmaging units don't have ranks, and nothing else has ranks, and I've got 3 guys. 3 guys, one of them has 2 wounds, so I'm hanging with 1 wound before I lose Steadfast, and I still have Steadfast, and I roll a 7, which is awesome. Ogre's turn 4. The Bulls get back into the action here. They're chilling. And I just reposition my Leadbelchers and my Iron Blasters to continue taking some more shots at shit. Still chaffing up in the middle of the field with that Saber Tusk and the Noblars. And unfortunately, the Comet does not land again. However, it will make quick work of anything that's still in the area, because 2d6 hits at strength at this point is going to be 7, I guess, is going to easily beat up those Plague Drones and those Beasts. So he does have another turn to get out of the way. So I do successfully score a Thunderbolt onto the Plague Drones, leaving this one guy with 1 wound left on him. That's going to be a reoccurring theme for the weekend. I do a very good job almost killing stuff, leaving usually about 1 wound on the entire unit. Yeah, so it's not a good sign, but at least he's down to 1 guy. I'll take it. And then Epic Harmonic Convergence gets off with Irresistible Force, so I'm ready to go to town with some Leadbelchers. I pour a chunk load of shots into these guys, but he still walks away with only having 2 left, which is annoying, but I mean, that's Nurgle for you. And with that reoccurring theme, I've got the Beast, which has 1 wound left on him, a dog that has 1 wound left on him, and these Nurglings, but I end up losing this combat, which is about time. He overruns, the Nurglings don't get to me, but the dog and the Beast go ahead and hit this other Leadbelch unit, which is annoying. I can't do any more shooting, but it's because I had to run from the biggest unit. But it's Demon turns 5 anyway, so he goes ahead and does an all-in on this unit, sends the remaining Plague Drone, and the Nurglings go ahead in on it also. And remaining moves, the beasts are closing in. The Nurgle plague bearers are moving in. Damn, not looking good. But Comet decides to come in for the rescue, and it hits a whole bunch of things. It ends up peeling off that plague drone, but it fails to kill these two beasts that are chilling here, and doesn't really do too many wounds to the Nurgle plague bearers. So not as helpful as I was hoping. So Comet lands, we roll up Winds of Magic, and then I don't know what the hell this bullshit is. All I know is my Butcher in the middle of this unit decides to blow up. I honestly should read the Demon's book and see what the hell is going on, but yeah. Treason of Zinch is casted successfully. And in shooting, the Skull Cannon finally is able to kill the Iron Blaster. These guys end up doing a lot better than I had anticipated. It could have to do with the harmonic convergence I think that they still had on them, but we killed 2 tiles of Nurglings, kill a dog, get some victory points there, and keep the beast at bay. And this is the end of Demon's Turn 5. A big debate I've had with this army is when is it finally time to charge? Is the answer never? Or is the answer when you're desperate? Is the answer when you feel like it? Well, in my turn 5, I go ahead and issue a charge onto these beasts. I mean, I can get a nice chunk of impact hits, especially since I have a rank in the back there. I'll get it at +1 strength. I should be able to kill the beasts, no problem, right? And then overrun and get another charge into the freaking plague bearers. So that's what I decided to do. I think it's a good idea. No ogre charge, but I get it, so we're good to go with there. And I start to track down this guy. I'm pretty much as close as I can get to him without letting him have an opportunity to leave my front arc. So, kind of pinned him down. And I have the Saber Tusk just chilling. It's a little too late for this, but Comet Casadora decides to get off again with Irresistible Force. And I go ahead and drop it here, because in CrossRoads, if you can get your opponent to 25% or lower, you actually get half points for the unit. So, I mean, I can get a good roll. Maybe get some points for these horrors that I've left unmolested the entire game. So this I don't get. I can't kill the 2 beasts. He sucks up so many regeneration rolls. He stays there. It's absurd. He stays there. So we're rounding off to the end of the game here with Demon's Turn 6. The pink horrors go ahead and scatter away from the Comet. And Casual goes ahead and cashes in on the fact that the Leadbelchers failed to take down the 2 beasts and issues a charge into them to hopefully finish them off. I don't think the Comet lands. If it did, it rolled shit range, so yeah. And Final Transmutation gets off. Hooray! This game has been a bloodbath so far. So few models remaining on the battlefield, so why not get some more blood for the Blood God? And the Chariot decides to charge into the frickin' bulls here. And kills 2 bulls on impact hits, which is excellent. And then he proceeds to melt them and run them down. All 9 bulls. Decided that the Chariot was just too scary to deal with, so these Leadbelchers get slaughtered and chased down or something. They're all dead. They'll be dead. And here is the final shot. The Chariot did not overrun enough to hit the freaking forest and blow up like it should have. That would have been wonderful. But I've got a Leadbelcher unit on the table and a Saber Tusk, which is pretty funny. Casual's got a handful left. He's got the cannon. He's got the beast, half of the unit of Nurgle plague bearers, and then both units of screamers. So he's in good shape here. So the victory goes to him. It was very back and forth through the entire game. You know what? The freaking Iron Blaster's not really doing that well, really didn't help me either. So looking back at this opening shot, just seeing how many things are on the battlefield compared to how little there was at the end is crazy. What a bloodbath. The one thing that I think really did me in was the ambushing dogs. I had to turn around and deal with them, and that took several turns, and a lot of commitment went to that, and that was a well-played ambush. If I had realized that that was going to be the issue and the fact that he wasn't moving up so quickly, I probably would have went ahead and just deployed on the back line. Yeah, he would have gotten a flank charge, but you know what? He would have had to go through some Navlars. I might have backed up a little bit more, but I mean, it's all in hindsight, but it's always good to realize that maybe I should have just been a little bit more cautious of that. So, but yep. So corn dogs, man. But hey, listen, this was an awesome game. Definitely a good practice game. I needed some humbling with the Leadbelchers, which is this game and last game. I needed to lose. This way I know what's wrong with them besides the leadership situation. But definitely check out the guys at nerdhammer.net. Awesome group of guys. They tabled all three of us. John hasn't played in like 4 or 5 years, so that was expected. Chris got stomped by Skaven, which is nothing new for him. But check these guys out. If you don't mind, after watching this video, go over there, subscribe. He doesn't do too many battle reports. He's going to be doing 5 for CrossRoads, but I'm sure if you guys subscribe and comment to his videos, he'd be encouraged to do more. And the more content that we get out onto YouTube, the better. So go do that. If you're not already a subscriber and you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment below. Also, if you watch my battle reports but you don't watch anything else, please check out the Warhammer Weekly. It's a show that me and a couple other guys on the web have decided to start up. It's a lot about hobbying, but also about the game itself. We're going to have all different topics, and it's really going to be for whatever you guys want to hear us talk about. So, of course, weigh in. Let us know what you think. It's going to be once a week or twice a week for an hour or so. It's going to be live, so you can chat with us if you decide to. Otherwise, it will be on the archives. Just log on to the YouTube channel, check it out. But it will at least be some weekly talk show for Warhammer. So, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for CrossRoads Game 1.